Have you ever asked yourself this question? How do I see myself? Because most people live their lives not based on who they truly are, but based on how they see themselves. And here's the interesting part. This view is usually not a conscious choice. Your brain has already created it for you. In psychology, we call this self-concept. It's the internal map your mind creates about who you are. But this map is not reality. It's just an interpretation. And most of that interpretation doesn't come from what you experience, but from the meaning you gave to those experiences. For example, two people go through the same situation. One says, "I'm not good enough." The other says, "I'm learning." Same event, completely different self-concept. Because the brain doesn't work like a recording device. It works more like a meaning-making system, especially a part of your brain called the medial prefrontal cortex. Processes information about yourself, and interestingly, this same area becomes active when you think about how others see you. So most of the time, you don't just see yourself as you are, you see yourself through other people's eyes. And that creates something very important. You don't live as your real self. You live as a reflected version of yourself. A sentence someone told you years ago, a look from a teacher, something a relationship made you feel, all of it comes together and forms a story inside you about who I am. And then you start living according to that story. That's why your self-concept is not just a psychological idea, it's a filter that shapes your entire life. And if you're not aware of that filter, you can't change it. If this kind of content resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe, because this is where you start understanding yourself. But here's something powerful. Your self-concept is not fixed. Research shows that when you become aware of your thoughts about yourself and start reframing them, these brain networks begin to change. So this is not about lying to yourself, it's about noticing the automatic interpretation. Try asking yourself this question. I see myself this way, but what is this based on? Is there real evidence? Or is it just a story I keep repeating? Because most people don't see themselves as they truly are. They see themselves the way they were taught to. And maybe what you thought was you all this time was just a learned story. But stories can change, because your self-concept is not a fixed truth. It's a model your brain constantly updates. And the moment you become aware of it, you begin to rewrite it. And the moment you start truly seeing yourself, your life begins to change. The way you see yourself sets the limits of the life you will live.